Welcome to today's online class. Winter is already here in full rhythm. I hope you all are doing well out there in this cold weather by the grace of Almighty Allah. Our today's topic is articles. I have already taken two classes on this topic. Today we are going to discuss more on the special rules of using definite article. Before starting the class formally, I would like to introduce myself at first. I am Fatima Sultana, lecturer, Department of English, Maulvi Government College, Maulvi. So let's begin. Okay, before going to the main class, let us review the previous class as I have taken it a little bit time ago, and we have discussed about 6 rules of using the definite article the, and the 6 rules are I have been given a review of the previous class here. That is, the is used to indicate a particular person or things in the case of common noun. Proper nouns generally do not take an article. So, whenever we are using the, we have to see that whether we are using it in to indicate something particular, whether it is a person or a thing, whatever. So, sometimes we use the to generalize a group or whole class, and we also use the to particularize an uncountable noun which cannot be counted. Then the is mandatory before a thing which is only one of a kind in the universe, like the sun, the moon, etc. We have also discussed about some specific rules of using the regarding geographical area. Okay, regarding geographical area, we have actually lots of rules, and we have discussed it in our earlier classes. And when it comes to eating in general, the article is not used. This is the 6th rules. But if you are speaking about a particular breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you can use the. So that was our previous class. We have discussed so many examples in that class. I hope you have already watched it, and if you do not, then I will advise you to watch that um, soon. Then today we are going to discuss about some more special rules regarding using the. So to decide if you should use the word the, ask yourself these 3 questions at first. So whenever you are confused about using the, you need to ask yourself 3 questions, and these 3 questions are kind of indicator. First one is the noun indefinite or definite, or that is the noun unspecified or specific? Then is the noun modified? Then you need to ask yourself, is the noun generic? All these 3 questions should be asked by you whenever you are deciding that you are going to use the in the blank of your uh, exams questions. So first one is the noun indefinite or definite? So I am giving some examples here to let you understand it's in full rhythm. The general rule states that the first mention of a noun is indefinite. Okay, so whenever you are mentioning a noun for the first time, that is indefinite, and all subsequent references to this noun are definite and take the. So if there are two same noun in two different sentence, you cannot use the in the first sentence, but you can use the in the second sentence. Okay, this is the rule. A man is walking down a road. There is a dog with the man. So we are seeing that a man and the man in these two subsequent sentences. So you see, whenever we are using a man in the first sentence, we do not know anything about that particular man. So that's why we use a, which is actually indefinite. But we use the when we are mentioning that man for the second time. That is, he is already known to us and we are using his name for the second time. That's why we need to use the in the second sentence. So if you use same noun in two different sentences, whenever you are mentioning him or it for the first time, then you cannot use any kind of definite article, you will use an indefinite article. But whenever you are mentioning him for the second time, then use definite article, that is the. So the second mention may be a synonym, like combine butter, sugar and eggs, add flour to the mixture. So here first indefinite mention requires a or an for a singular countable noun, no article for a plural or uncountable noun. Second mention makes the correct for both countable and uncountable noun. So when we do not use any kind of article before butter, sugar and eggs, because these are actually whatever they are, countable or uncountable, but they are actually indefinite, so that's why we do not need to use any kind of article, definite article here. But we need to use a article, definite article before the word mixture. Why? Because it's already been mentioned in the first one, isn't it? So a growing plant must have water and minerals. The third example, a growing plant must have water and minerals. The plant must also have sunlight. The minerals must include nitrates and the water must not be saline. So this is actually a wonderful example. You can understand things very clearly in this example. We have three noun here. First one is plant, second one is first one is plant, second one is water, and third one is minerals. So in this example, in the first sentence we do not use any kind of definite article. We do not use definite article before plant, isn't it? We do not use any kind of article before water, or we do not use any kind of article before minerals. But in the second line we have used the definite article the before plant. In the third sentence we have used the before minerals, and we have also used the before water. Why? Because as we have discussed earlier that we cannot use for the first mention, okay, but we can use the in the second mention. So whenever we are using plant, water and minerals for the first time, we cannot use the definite article the. But whenever we are using these words for the second or third time, we can use the definite article before them. So we are discussing about a new special rules, that is three special groups. Three special groups of nouns are considered definite in reference even if they have not been mentioned in the preceding sentence or clause. So what have we discussed? That if something is mentioned in the first sentence, then it becomes definite. But what happens, that is whenever these rules is not 100% correct always. That is, there are three special groups of noun. They are considered definite always. Okay, even if you did not use them in the first mention. Okay, so the first group, we are discussing these three special groups. The first group consists of noun which refer to shared knowledge of the situation or context. That is, for example, let us discuss some examples, because example makes things clear. The Prime Minister will arrive tomorrow. So there is only one Prime Minister in Canada, isn't it? So we are talking about the Prime Minister of Canada. So there is only one Prime Minister in Canada, and so it is clear to whom you are referring, isn't it? So if we know that every country has actually one Prime Minister, if they do have any. So if you and your friend are talking about Prime Minister, you both share the knowledge that the Prime Minister must be singular. So that means particular, isn't it? So you do not need to use indefinite article before him. Okay, you cannot say a Prime Minister will arrive tomorrow, because it will be the Prime Minister, because he is always definite. Okay, he is always singular. Similarly, if there is only one hospital in the town, you can say he's been working in the hospital for 2 years. Okay, there is only one hospital, so it's definite already. It's definite by born, so you can say the hospital. But you couldn't say this in Dhaka, where there are so many hospitals, isn't it? So there are so many hospitals in Dhaka. So he's been working at United Hospital for 2 years. He says the hospital is in a financial mess. So we are not using any kind of article before that. Number B, that is second special group. The second special group consists of nouns referring to unique object. Okay, we have already discussed it in earlier class, and we are now discussing it for the second time because this will clear our ideas more on this topic. That is, if something is in the earth which is actually singular or which is actually unique, then we can use the before them. You do not need to say a sun. You will always say the sun, the earth, the pope, because they are singular, they are unique, they don't have any what can we say, they don't have any copy. And we the third group is superlative adjective and unique adjective. Because there can be only one of these. Okay, so whenever you are using any kind of superlative adjective, then you need to use the before it. Mexico City is the most popular city in the world. I enjoyed the first part, but I was disappointed at the end. She is the principal researcher. So before superlative degree, we always use the. It is known by all of us, but there is another thing here, that is, you have to use the before a unique adjective, not only unique object, that is unique adjective. Like the principal researcher, there it might be that there is only one principal researcher, isn't it? So she is the principal researcher, so this is actually unique. There is no second copy in that institution, so that's why she is the principal researcher. Our next question is, we have discussed in the beginning of this class that we need to ask three questions to ourselves before deciding that whether we should use the or not. The first question is the noun identified indefinite or definite, isn't it? And our second question is the noun modified? So we know there are actually two kinds of modification. First one is pre-modification, and then there is post-modification. So if the noun is preceded by one of the following, like these, that, these, those, some, any, each, every, no, none, my, mine, you need to remember this. So you do not use any kind of definite article. Like you can say the red books, but you cannot say the that red books, isn't it? You can say the red books, but you cannot say the that red books, because whenever you are using that red books, that is already definite because of the use of that. So you do not need to double particularize them. So we said some red books, we do not say some the red books, we do not say no the red books. These are actually no red books, his red books, each red books. So post modification is if the noun is followed by a dependent clause like who, which, that, or a prepositional phrase like of, into, it is made definite and makes the definite article. So like the man who lives next door is Chinese. Okay, the man who lives next door is Chinese. So if you use who, which, that, you need to use definite article. Like we take the regular collection of garbage for granted, because this should be definite. The journey to Vancouver take 3 days by brain. Okay, of, into, we have already discussed that if we use any kind of prepositional phrase, we need to use the. No one expected the result that were found. Okay, we have already discussed that if we use who, which, that in the sentence, we need to use the. And there are also exception is collective nouns take the indefinite article. If there is any kind of collective noun, we do not use any kind of definite article. We will use indefinite article, like a box of matches, not the box of matches. Then we use a deck of cards, a bar of soap, a herd of cows. These are all collective nouns, so that's why we use indefinite articles in them. The third question is the noun generic? So generic reference is using when one refers to a whole group or class to generalize about all possible members of a group, and we can use 5 patterns in this case. And these 5 patterns we have been given the structure of the 5 patterns. That is, if there is no article, and no article will be before plural countable noun. No article will be before plural uncountable noun. So you do not need to use any kind of article before plural countable noun. You do not need to use any kind of article before plural uncountable noun when you are using them in generic. Then you will use indefinite article before singular countable noun, and you will use definite article before plural countable noun. Okay, so this pattern, this particular number 4 pattern, cannot be used to discuss the location or existence of something or someone. To discuss the location of or existence of something or someone, like you cannot say a lion lives in Africa. You should say that lions lives in Africa, isn't it? So you cannot say a lion lives in Africa because there are so many lions in Africa, isn't it? So you cannot say a lion because lion is not something unique. There are so many lions in the world, and if you want to discuss about the group of lion, then you do not use a lion lives in Africa. You say lions live in Africa. So you use the pattern a or a there. Okay, so definite article plus plural nationality noun. We know that already, because that if we use nationality noun, that is we see, if we say Chinese, then it's a language, but if we say the Chinese, it becomes the nationality, isn't it? So there are actually 5 patterns, but the English actually use the first one and the second one mostly. That is first one's example is, it's astonishing what gymnasts can do. So there is actually plural, that is countable. So plural and countable, we do not use any kind of article. It can cause a lot of suffering, so we do not use any kind of plural and uncountable. Suffering is not, cannot be counted, isn't it? So we do not use any kind of a before the article. So then indefinite article before singular countable noun, there is only one gymnast. Here is an extra s, it's a typo actually, so it should be gymnast. So there is an a before the gymnast. Why? Because it is singular countable noun. Then we use definite article before plural countable noun, and then we use definite article before plural nationality noun. So special rules, there are some special rules, that is media. What do we do in terms of media and communication, in terms of means of transportation, and in some other case? There are actually 6 rules, 6 special rules. Use a noun plus definite article to refer to system of communication and the mass media, in contrast to the actual machine of communication. The telephone is the system of communication. A telephone is the actual physical machine. Okay, so the newspaper are all in agreement on the latest financial disaster. So during the time of when we are using newspaper or something that is communicative, then we do use article, definite article before those words, isn't it? That is, if we say the telephone, it becomes the system of communication. When we say a telephone, it becomes the actual physical machine. We are talking about the machine. So if you want to particularize something by mentioning them as particular communication system, then you need to use article before them, that is definite article before them. So you say the newspaper are all in agreement on the latest financial disaster. So newspaper is something which is actually an object, it's not a human being. It cannot agree, isn't it? Because it's a thing, and things do not think, things do not agree, isn't it? But the newspaper is actually here the means of communication. So we are not talking about the newspaper, we are talking about the people who are working on the newspaper. So that's why we, by mentioning newspaper, the newspaper, we are actually meaning that all the people that were who are working for the newspaper. So it will be the newspaper. And if we say a newspaper, then it becomes the paper only. So means of transportation, there are an exception, that is television usually has no articles. Did you see him on television? Television usually has no article. So we example is, did you see him on television? V is typo here. Did you see him on television? There is no definite article before television. So before television we do not use any kind of article. So means of transportation, use the definite article to refer the whole transport system rather than to an individual vehicle. So how long does it take on the bus? How long does it take on the bus? It means that by if we go somewhere by bus, not by Anna, not by Hanif, by we are mentioning the total system here, total transportation system here. So we use the and the subway is quicker. Okay, the subway is quicker means that we are referring to the whole subway system. Exception if you use the construction by plus means of transportation, there is no article. Like I go by subway. So if you use by before the transportation, you cannot use any kind of article. Forms of entertainment, this is our number 3. To refer to a form of entertainment in general, use the definite article. So I enjoy seeing the ballet. To refer to a particular event, use the indefinite article. I saw a good movie last night. So whenever you are referring to a form of entertainment like ballet is a kind of dance, a form of dance, so you will use a definite article. But if you use a particular event, then it will be indefinite article. And number 4 is place or object of activity noun. Certain nouns refer to either a place or object or to an activity. Okay, it can be place or object or it can be an activity. How? We have 6 examples here. I go to bed at 11 o'clock. Don't jump on the bed. So in the first sentence, I go to bed means I go to sleep, isn't it? So this is actually, bed is not actually an object here, it is actually an activity. But in the second sentence, don't jump on the bed, here we are talking about the object bed. Then she went to school for many years, and this is actually an activity. How she went to school for many years, it indicates her study system, and the school was too small. Here it is actually the school, the building of the school. So many families eat dinner together. Eat dinner together means a particular eating, a particular eating that is there is no article before this dinner, but we use the dinner was delicious. It means the particular dinner. So we see there are 3 more example. I shower before breakfast. The breakfast was delicious. So here shower before breakfast means the activity of breakfast, and here breakfast is actually the object of breakfast. So they are at church, and in the next sentence we see the church is very old. She is in class, and in the next sentence we see the class is in room 102. So you see, when they refer to an activity, they do not use any kind of definite article, but when they are referring to an object, they use definite article. So whenever you are seeing, we can say that vice versa, whenever you are seeing a definite article, you understand that that is an object, but if you do not see any kind of definite article, you understand that that is an activity. Number 5, special rules. Number 5, nouns indicate direction, do not take the definite article. So if you say go 2 blocks south and turn left, okay, if you indicate direction, you do not take any kind of definite article. But there is an exception, nouns indicating political division take the definite article. She is on the left of the party. So by left of the party, we understand that she is in the particular wing of the party. So that is we use the here. But in case of south and left, we do not use. If we are referring them to indicating something, we do not use any kind of article. Periods of time, names of decades, centuries, and historic periods take the definite article as they are a form of unique reference. So if you are talking about history, if you are talking about history, then you need to use the, because they are actually unique reference. So we have discussed in this class about the things that we need to learn, things that we need to think before using a definite article. We have discussed about some special rules, and then we have discussed about 3 special groups and 6 special rules actually. And I hope you all have understood my class. Thank you all. Thanks for taking part in the class. Thanks for watching.